No, for just an information for Dr. Zoiberg, Faina didn't win. He drew 1-1 with a president opponent. So now we're gonna see show for sure um, a miracle deck against they're both fighting
Anzalone is on the right, is 5-0 playing Miracles.
and the other player is 5-0 to we don't know which deck he plays, but we will keep you obviously informed.
Okay, one thing about Miracles, I've been playing Miracles on Magic Online. One of the things that scares me about playing Miracles in a tournament is that you really have to, I wouldn't say master the deck, but playing quickly enough not to end up with a draw. We just saw a draw between two aggro control decks, and if you go into a tournament playing Miracles, you really have to think quickly, act quickly, count quickly, and just being able to conduct your game pace at a decent speed.
Yeah.
We're getting the deck list. Leonardo Zucchelli playing Deathblade. He plays cards like Deathray Shaman, Staunch for Mystics. It's basically just Esper Stoneblade.
And instead, Niccolò Anzalone is playing a classical list of miracles with we have two dig through time. He have two Snapcaster Mage instead, so he gonna focus on dig through time as his strategy, and he plays the red for a sideboard, and in which obviously he had the red elemental blast, obviously, and this and the wear and tear, and this is probably for the mirror matches. And now we are gonna start. And we'll see the end of Anzalone here. He's got quick mulligan for Anzalone with Miracle. Instead, instant keep from Leonardo Zucchelli with that blade.
So, what about the matchup? What do you think? Who is
It's a
favorite?
I mean, if David can comment the list of Leonardo, I see that he plays Geist of Soundtraft. That's not so common in Esper Blade. I mean, you can play, you cannot play it, but it's not standard choice.
I have to say, if I want to play an aggro control deck, then I don't want to play more than 3 colors and Wastelands on top of it. So I don't really appreciate the fact of playing 4 colors and two Wastelands. Because if I play aggro control, I want probably a full set of Wastelands and a more solid mana base.
Yeah.
So if I had to play an aggro control deck, you can play Esper Stoneblade or a Buck Delver. But like these 4 color decks, they can have a bit shaky mana base and also being too relying on Death Threat Shaman, which obviously hits play on turn 1.
And the other side, and Sensei Divining Top, it with the board immediately. So another player that don't play.
That is like a funny turn to play. Like he decides to play Geist of Sundraft on turn 2 instead of Liliana, which is something I don't quite understand.
Now there's a question, David.
It's quite a point. The guest of Saint-Traft in the Stoneblade.
We already told that the case of Sundraft is not so common in Stoneblade. But at this point, we have to do a general question. Why
do all these people play Liliana and don't like to play Liliana on turn 2?
Yeah, because you play the turn Shaman, the other opponent is a one landing game, you play a Liliana, and it's practically you have 60%.
Well, it's
you win the game.
In the main.
Yeah, he has also like funny cards like one Hellspeth, 9th Errant.
It's a
in the main deck.
strange list.
It is a quite strange list. It has
got
two
the
Caracas.
One ditch through time. Two Caracas with 4 colors deck.
4-color deck, 2 Caracas, 2 Wasteland.
This is a strange deck.
It's quite
Yeah,
weak.
but
Mana base.
and he's got a fantasy list. Instead, Niccolo is quite. But Niccolo here, he chose probably to the Geist for making an aggro choice.
So
Now Elspeth come in, and now for Niccolo,
my question is, right, if you drop Geist on turn 2, how stupid do you feel if your opponent just flips a miracle on turn 2?
a Terminus.
A Terminus.
Yeah.
How stupid do you feel?
You feel quite stupid, even because the opponent has a sensei top and you've seen it. So in this case, you have to play Liliana, I think.
Like you could
To
just
get to
rearrange.
Miracle.
Yeah. You could just rearrange
Low.
your Terminus in hand on top of your deck and just upkeep it on your opponent turn 3.
Obviously,
You have some difficult choice to make.
you have small to plowshare, you have a force wheel, you have a land, and
The question is about drawing with Sensei to force
yeah,
Elspeth.
he's got to force the Elspeth.
Does he have a Wrath of God?
With what?
He
With counter spell.
cannot face an Elspeth in the long term because he has no way to keep it, to get rid of the Elspeth.
And then we take 6.
And 6 damage by the Geist of Sundraft.
And
Now
you
he's
have to
17.
rearrange.
You have 5 cards, he's gonna play back with Sensei with a balance.
So countertop is settled now, but he's facing 7 damage. So basically, he's on a two-turn
Eight-
clock.
8 damage.
Yeah,
He's facing eight-
facing
potentially eight damage.
potentially 8 damage. So he's on a 2-turn clock.
Definitely. And the problem is that he knew that his Oswald Plowshare. Now Liliana comes in.
So Liliana is in play. Also, is that a Terminus?
No, it's a Council Judgment, I think, was a Terminus.
It's a Terminus. So basically, he did have a Terminus
But
somewhere.
he didn't end, but he cannot reshuffle. He didn't reveal the counterbalance because he knew that on top there's another card. This is a Council Judgment.
Council Judgment getting rid of Geist of Sundraft.
Yeah. Now we got only a Liliana and
The thing is now,
the
he
thing is now
can
he's-
actually
he's
doesn't
scared
really
of-
have to play any other spells. He can just ride Liliana.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to ride with
Yeah, he
Liliana.
doesn't have to play any spell. I mean, he can try to, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have to.
But he wants to.
Yeah, and Zalone, I think he doesn't have cards in hand. He's got empty. Yeah, obviously, but it's not a good play here. With 3 cards to watch. Obviously,
And he reveals a second counterbalance.
yeah. If you don't have, and he tapped it also badly
Yeah.
because he tapped
He
out
can't.
black mana, so he can't use the Deathray Shaman ability to do 2 damage to me to Anzalone. Bad play here.
Yeah.
Also, it does not
Very
attack.
bad play, but
Well, it also does not
he
attack.
doesn't need he didn't attack. Very bad play by Zucchelli here.
Yeah, very poor decision of the mana to tap and just.
Sword to Plowshare on that right
Now
Shaman.
he just realized.
Now he
it.
just realized
Now he
that
just
he don't
realized
have
that
a
he
black
can-
mana
he
to
doesn't
use.
have a black mana.
Yeah. Very, very bad playing.
Not a good choice here. Not neither of the choice to play the Mystic.
What we are behind that? Because I can't.
It's a dig for time and a waste.
Oh no, it's not victory time, I think. Yeah, it's victory.
See it to the time. This is
Well, good luck countertop that.
this is difficult from counterbalance to counter.
Yeah, really.
So he's got a fetchland and 2 counterbalance on top.
Yeah, it's not easy situation for him.
And also can just you can just basically +1 Liliana and just carry on like that, because how many Council Judgment is the Miracle deck playing?
Nicolò is playing one council
A singleton
judgment.
Council Judgment. So that means he doesn't have. He's got one on his deck list.
Council, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
ju-
So it doesn't have any way to deal with Liliana. Liliana is virtually unkillable this game.
Yeah, Snapcaster.
It does have 2 Snapcaster Mage,
Obviously.
but sitting on no cards in hand at the moment.
Yeah.
Also, Liliana is on.
One.
How is he on 1?
The ultimate.
Ultimate Liliana. Why, like, why ultimating now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is it such in a rush? He doesn't really have to ultimate now. He could just +1 again.
Yeah.
Also, especially because he's got 2 cards in hand, which are Thoughtseize and Geist of Sundraft.
Yeah.
And well, Anzalone doesn't have anything, so yeah, you can actually.
You lose.
Okay, it just basically divides four
Lands.
lands or countertop, drops a Geist, which is I understand this play. And, obviously, he has to find an answer. But what if he just top decks, a brainstorm into
The
a
only
terminus?
answer now is Terminus top deck.
Yeah, but this list actually plays 4 terminus. Also, you could draw into cards like brainstorm into terminus.
No, because
We
you
could
can
just- Well, you could just brainstorm in the next turn.
No, because he's 5. 1.
Well,
Terminus.
brainstorm in his upkeep and terminus.
Oh,
So this one is actually a
Snapcaster.
decent draw. I mean, so
Oh, it's
Snapcaster,
so bad.
Snapcaster
Snapcaster with
is not a bad draw. I mean, it's not dead.
it's not dead, but it's
It's
not
a
easy
good
because he have fire one and not 5.
Not brainstorm.
But no, he has 4 swords of plowshares. I mean, you can just, you attack with your guys.
I can plowshare VL.
But also, obviously, like
Block
you
and
should,
go
you
in
should, you
7.
should actually Thoughtseize before attacking,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. So it
Oh.
does have a Thoughtseize, and it decides not to Thoughtseize.
What a bad play, man.
This. Oh my god. And it does have sword of plowshares.
Yeah,
Okay, fair
because he's got the flashback. Anyways,
So it just sits on 3 life plus 2, 5. So he has to draw again. Fair enough. We didn't know it drew Swords of Plowshare, so it didn't
but
actually have to.
why don't you play with Thoughtseize? Ponder.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
He
sad.
finds
No,
a
it's just sad.
Jace. He finds a Terminus, but it's too late.
Yeah.
And even with Lotto,
So well played, but
no, I mean, Anzalone did the best as he can. Zucchelli, I mean, he tried to lose this game, but he didn't succeed in losing it because he had a good end. Anzalone mulliganed, and so it was difficult to face the aggression of Geist. Still, I prefer the Liliana Fern 3 instead of the Geist. Because for a Miracle deck, Liliana is quite a problem. If you don't have immediately a Council Judgment, it can really be a problem. And instead,
Okay, let's go through the sideboard cards. So you're on the bug list, right? I mean, the 4-color bug Stormblade, Deadblade fantasy deck.
yeah, I
And
could-
you're looking at cards like Supreme Verdict, Force of Will number 4, Zealous Persecution, Meddling Mage, Abrupt Decay, Containment Priest, Flusterstorm, Surgical Extraction, Yumezawa GT, and Thoughtseize.
probably I'll go into 2 Meddling Mage and 2 Decays. Because I don't like the Flusterstorm. You can, I mean, it's difficult you get involved in a counter war that you can win. And anyways, if there's no spell, sorcery or instant that you can. So, and the Thoughtseize is strong, but if you see in turn 1, because afterwards it can be meat for the counterbalance. So in this case, I probably play the Meddling Mage for the Jace.
Yeah, you want to play Meddling Mage for Chase
Or
and
Abrupt Decay.
and Abrupt Decay for counterbalance,
For
which is
counterbalance.
actually quite funny because basically it's white blue, black green.
And instead, Anzalone, you have free Red Elemental Blast, one other Entreat the Angels, free Flusterstorm, one Explosives, free Vendilions, two Rest in Peace, one Council Judgment, one Wear a Tear. I will board in, obviously, the second Council Judgment for Liliana and so on. I will surely board in maybe the Explosives. I don't think I board in the Red Elemental Blast for a deck that plays 4 colors. The game 1 was won by Zucchelli with Esper Blade, 4 color Esper Blade. So Zucchelli 1, Anzalone 0. Now Anzalone will start, and probably if I am Anzalone, I will board out the dig. The dig through times are quite slow against a deck that attacks you and you put some pressure on you. And maybe a Vendilion click, 1 or 2 Vendilion clicks for Liliana.
Yeah, this will be the official channel for a Magical Market series.
Okay, now Anzalone will start the second game with and we see the end of Zucchelli instead. You have Toad Sides, you have a Force Wheel now top decked. He starts with a Detroit Shaman. Is kind of standard. Anzalone
We've seen
with two
five
fetch
games out of 5.
with
The
Death
Death Ray Shaman player,
turn 1.
turn 1 Death Ray Shaman.
Now he's got a fetch land,
And Thoughtseize.
Toad Seeds. I agree on the choice of not doing Toad Seeds turn 1 instead of doing Death Ray Shaman and then Toad Seeds turn 2. Because he gives you access to a 2 mana play, and there's no card that you must Toad Sides in a Miracle deck unless you have a fast combo. Now Caracas drops in for Anzalone. He got Sword to Plowshare. He's got Council Judgment, I think. No, Zucchelli on the tank. And he's thinking what to do. He's got a Liliana.
He's got a Liliana, so can this guy actually play a Liliana when he has 3 manas, like on turn 2 every now and then? He's already played Solstice on turn 2, and now it's turn 3.
Too
He can.
simple, too simple.
It's too easy to just drop Liliana.
Too easy strategy.
This tournament is entitled I Don't Play Liliana
They
Anymore.
just don't want to play Liliana on turn 2.
But they thought if
No,
it,
maybe he's trying.
if it costs 70 euros, it's a strong card.
Yeah.
The
Liliana
problem is
will be
now Liliana is probably
drops.
gonna be attacked by Vendilion Creek.
No, I think not.
I think we will just discard and afterwards bring Vendilion Click end of turn
Obviously,
and try and attack Liliana.
discard a card for both players, and discard the terminals instead. Vendilion Click
So
end of
Vendilion Click
turn.
very hard to
Very
attack
strong.
with
Yes,
Caracas. So what he's gonna do is just attack Liliana the Veil, put it down to 1,
Yeah.
and then it's
And
gonna be very
avoiding-
difficult like to. It does have Force of Will.
Yes, the Force of Will
Okay,
is strong here
that is quite good.
because it prevents a very strong play by Anzalone that could minimize the impact of Liliana at the same time keeping the Vendilion Click active. So now a brainstorm for Anzalone is searching something.
See, now the situation
To
is
deal
like
with
it doesn't have a way to deal with Liliana. It just doesn't have a way to beat
Apart from
Liliana.
Council Judgment.
Apart from Council Judgment, which he plays a 1 of
And one,
and
on
one in the sideboard.
So,
So
maybe
basically,
obviously
like,
boarded
it
in.
does have Jace, and he could just drop Jace, but
And he found it.
eventually Liliana is just gonna ultimate.
Yeah. Anyways, he founded the Jace, but now he cannot play it because he already is in his turn.
So he's not interested in balance anymore. Obviously, it's a little bit too late for balance. So he's just gonna like drop his 4th land, get rid of the Death Ray Shaman,
Yeah.
and then drop Jace on the following
Yeah.
turn.
But it could be too late.
I mean,
For Jace.
in the end of the day, Jace is gonna net some card advantage, but then again, Liliana is just gonna ultimate at some point.
Yeah. That's a brainstorming, which obviously gets a red elemental blast of Anzalone. Correct choice. And now he's
So
gonna.
Anzalone here should just +1 and just discard the Abrupt Decay or the land,
Yeah.
but he has to +1. You
But
just
he
you just
has to
you,
plus
you just
one.
don't wait.
No,
you
no,
just
you
plus
have to
one.
+1.
You have to +1 here.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot wait.
I mean, I don't see what you're waiting for. Why would you want to keep both cards? I can see a point like for be willing to keep the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah. I would
But-
drop a land and drop it out.
I would just probably
Yeah. And he does
drop the
exactly
land.
what.
Yeah, drop the land and +1.
Exactly what.
So now he flips the Jace on top.
Yeah.
He can brainstorm with Jace.
He brainstorms immediately.
And try and find the Council Judgment.
Yeah. And he finds a balance. I think about 2 balance and a land. I don't know. Maybe, but Liliana is quite ahead. I find a shaman. It's a good news for Anzalone.
So now the ultimate is not too bad when you have Jace in play. But obviously,
Brainstorm. Maybe he found the council judgment. Yeah, he
Oh,
found
wow.
it. Yeah, he
Yes.
found
Wow.
it.
With the last card. Is
The last card
Very last
found
card.
the council judgment to him. And this is a strong play.
This is an actual game changer. He had
Yeah.
2 outs basically.
yeah.
He has 2 outs not to be beaten by Liliana.
Not to be ultimated. Now the situation for Zucchelli is very critical
Yeah.
because
No, this is game. It's not
Yeah,
possible.
Anzalone
this is probably game. He
he's
doesn't
got
have
the,
any.
he's got the
He
Jace,
can
he's got
concede,
the
he can concede to go
he's got the top,
faster. Because there
he's
is
got
no-
the balance
no way
now.
to
So
go.
there's no way now that Zucchelli can. Yeah, it is with decay, but it's too late. It's really too late for him. Now with another Death Ray Shaman hits the board. The problem is now that Anzalone, he has the top, he has the brainstorm ability, he has another Sword Plowshare, he has another council in the end. Plowshares on Death Ray Shaman. So now it's gonna get very, very hard for Zucchelli to recover this game. Practically impossible.
Yeah, I would say
But you
there's
wanna
no coming back from this.
No, impossible. Now
It's
it's,
not coming
it's
back.
quite impossible.
He doesn't have any way
I don't know
to
why
actually kill Jace.
he don't concede. I don't know why.
The only thing he's thinking about if he will be able to draw a single Vendilion click, one of the two Vendilion click. He can do Vendilion click in end of turn, killing the Jace, and try to put the board back on his side. The only way Zucchelli can recover from this is the Vendilion click.
No, not anymore, because obviously
You have also-
Anzalone has got his own Vendilion Click and the Red Elemental Blast
Yeah.
and the Snapcaster Mage on top. So now it's
practically
probably
impossible.
time for Anzalone to start playing something and just attack for 3 and then for 5
And then
and just
closing
end the game
Because
quickly.
we know that
It's just a matter of time, basically.
We know
if
that
you're if you're playing miracles,
Yeah,
you don't
because
you
if
don't
I
want to
am-
mess
if I am-
around. You want
but-
to end your games to have enough time to play game
Yeah.
3.
because I have to. If I am Zucchelli, I try to put this game ahead because I want the first. As a Vendilion click, we said it, but obviously Arab comes in.
Also, I mean, even Vendilion Click would have been enough because Anzalone's got Caracas in play.
Yeah,
So Vendilion Click will never be able to attack with Chase.
yeah, obviously. Now a Vendilion click from Anzalone's side comes in, but a Snapcaster responses. Okay, and in your response of the Vendilion click, Anzalone gives flashback to the brainstorm. Obviously, he didn't. Zucchelli gives flashback to brainstorm. Obviously, he leaves the Force of Will in the end of Zucchelli, and now Zucchelli brainstorms with the flashback. He finds his own Jace. And a Force of Will. And we must say that the Zucchelli deck is quite strange. It's not a conventional deck. And now
It's probably-
Anzalone is trying to play quick because he knows that the time is on the side of Zucchelli.
And you have to find and treat
Yeah, he's trying to search for and treat the angels. Now we found a Snapcaster Mage
and ponder.
for
Exactly.
a Red Elemental Blast.
This is not a good playing.
Yeah, he
No.
want to raise now. He want to raise.
He basically is giving him like a 4-turn clock.
Yeah, he's got 5 damage on board, and he want to raise. He got a Jace. He's got. And now Zucchelli.
We play zone Jace, no? We don't have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he
clock
tries
the
to-
clock just becomes a 3-turn clock.
But now Zucchelli's gonna play with his own Jace without, I think, without protection because he's got 2 cards.
I think yes.
He's got a Force of Will, but the blue card is a Jace. Whether we will play. So basically, what he's gonna try to do is slow down again Anzalone. In a brainstorm to
Ooh,
take the Force of Will active.
3 good card. 2 good card.
Anzalone is getting nervous. He knows the time is not on on his side, and he's trying to play as fast as he can. He knows that now he gotta kill the Jace with the Vendilion and beat Zucchelli.
No, I don't know if it's necessary to kill Jace. No.
Yeah, you have to kill Jace necessarily, and Zucchelli drops to 13, and now he's gonna brainstorm with the Jace,
There is no entry.
keeping counterspell and sword to
Now.
plowshare.
He can play or Elspeth or Elspeth,
Geist.
but protected, or Geist unprotected. Which is
It's
In
still-
which case, I will
It's,
play
prob- it's, prob- it's
Elspeth.
probably a bit too late for both of them anyway.
yeah, sure, but
Counterspell. And now he probably will protect Elspeth because he provides. No, he didn't do it. Sensei. Other 3 cards. Brainstorm with
I don't
Jace.
use fetch.
5 damage, go to 8. I don't know why he didn't protect the Elspeth.
Because Elspeth dies the next turn with an attack. So it is not
So
necessary.
because he can do a +1.
Yeah, I can do
block.
+1,
Plus
make a
one, but
1/1.
it's not defendable.
Yeah, he makes a
He makes a token.
Yes, but Jace bounce and then
Yeah.
so
You take time.
make
Anyways,
3 for 1.
Okay, but now he also wheels the another play by Zalone. No, anyway, the game is over. It's just a matter of
The game
time.
has been over for the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes anyway.
Problem is that Zucchelli.
And he forced Vendilion. So
The thing is that Zucchelli is trying to. Because
yeah.
because he gets Vendilion back with the Caracas, and he forced the play when he played again.
Why now?
So in Treat the Angels now.
Now you have Sovereign Verdict. You can find Sovereign Verdict now.
He can find the Supreme Verdict.
Why making treat?
Well, I don't think
with
it's
the sensei,
playing Supreme Verdict.
Why with the sensei on board?
I don't know.
Making entreat in your turn and not at the end of turn.
It does have like one
Sensitive.
sideboard Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, sure. Is UV.
Yeah,
It's quite common.
I wouldn't play
Okay,
Treat
you
in the
consider.
end of turn.
Okay,
So
finally.
he's dead. Yeah.
Finally.
Finally, Zucchelli took the time. It's normal that Zucchelli took this time to concede because he know that in 10 minutes or so on, he's the one that can win the game. It is difficult that a miracle deck can win a game in 10 minutes.
No, it's not possible. I think.
It's very difficult, and so that for that reason, probably obviously Zucchelli.
This is one of the reasons why Miracle.
This is one of the problems of
often
Miracle.
make one
If you lose the first game, it's very difficult. You try to you
18 minutes.
18 minutes.
18 minutes can be good.
18 minutes is enough.
Can be enough. Can be enough. Can be enough for a miracle deck 18 minutes. But with the shuffling procedures and so on, will be 15 minutes. And if Zucchelli will play not as fast as he can, maybe surely not enough for a Jace victory, maybe enough for an Entreat the Angels victory. Anyways, let's see, we'll see now what's gonna happen. The thing is that you, with this deck, or you try a very aggressive strategy like in the first game by Zucchelli, or if you don't have an aggressive strategy, you have to put Liliana as soon as possible. Because if he can put Liliana in game before.
Let's have a look at Zucchelli's hand. When he opens his hand, we can see. Obviously, he does have that for Shaman as usual. He does have Thoughtseize, and he decides to lead with Thoughtseize finally.
Yeah, it's time, yeah.
I like this play. You lead with
Yeah, because he
Thoughtseize,
starts.
What hand? Strong.
and you honestly like. Okay, he does have one fetch land, one place.
2 ponders,
Two
one
ponders.
Pyre Blast,
Oh, okay, that's a good draw off the top. Basic island off the top is a decent draw.
decent draw, yeah, because he have a fetch land for fetching away with bad cards he see of ponder.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
And,
decent draw.
That's a strong hand. That's a strong hand. And
Strong
yeah,
hand.
we have a brainstorm, 3 fetch, I see correctly.
And now,
Is he a dig for
but
that?
Zucchelli,
Also, yeah, so it's just gonna. He could brainstorm first.
yeah,
He decides not to. I mean, I don't understand why you don't just brainstorm, draw 3, fetch away 2 bad cards, fetch and then into
later
shop.
fetch.
Yes, to be countered with the red elemental bus. That's the reason.
We was tapped out. He only has one eye.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Now,
joking.
yeah, exactly. Now it's basically it gives access to the random blast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, now is
but he
under
might, to be honest with you, if he does have dig through time, he might as well want
to
Anzalone
delve.
to counter the brainstorm with Red Elemental Blast
Yeah,
in order for him to resolve dig
yeah,
through time.
yeah. I don't
So
see a reason why.
it does actually make sense.
I don't see a reason why because he doesn't.
We have another
but-
red elemental blast in hand,
Yeah, now it's
I think.
if he lost one turn basically.
Oh, okay.
This is a good
So he's got Wasteland on there.
another wasted turn. I mean, Zucchelli is not playing aggressive. He's not playing as we thought.
Yeah, he's not on the aggressive side of things. Like he
No.
does.
He doesn't
Okay.
want to.
Anzalone lets the brainstorm resolve.
Yeah, maybe he's imagining. Maybe he's keeping the Pyroblast for a Force of Will
Another blast.
or for a Sundraft. Maybe he's keeping the Pyroblast for a Gist. Maybe on the turn a fetch from Zucchelli. Maybe he can do 2 damages now with a Deathright Shaman to
Yeah.
Anzalone. Removing the Ponder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he does. And now the thing is that Zucchelli is not he's trying to. I don't see control the game, but he's trying to play safe.
He has no great hand, Zucchelli, I mean. Not so strong, like the other game.
He doesn't have much action really. Like
Yeah.
he only has a Deathray Shaman in play, a Deathray Shaman in hand, Force of Will in hand. And he's not doing much.
Yeah. No, he didn't play the second Deathright, fearing of Terminus, or fearing some. Yeah. Now he's got a Vendilion click, I think. At the end of the turn, probably he's gonna get rid of the second Ponder, but it takes a Sword to Plowshare from Anzalone in response. Now Anzalone he's got a Sword to Plowshare and probably a possibility to Snapcaster into him.
Oh,
The
that's a
second
good draw.
Wasteland.
This is a good draw.
Yeah, the second
Wasteland is an
the
actually
second
really good
Volcanic
draw.
Island.
And
This
well,
is a good draw
promptly
because-
Anzalone just threw another fetchland anyway.
But
we
I
have
don't
just two
think
volcanic.
I don't think he play. I think he
Just
plays
two
only 2
volcanic.
Volcanic Islands, so he don't have access
So he doesn't
To
have
the red
access to
mana.
red.
to the red mana, and this keeps his red elemental is Pyroblast useless for the rest of the game.
We need
Now,
a brainstorm
obviously,
to
as we
shuffle up the red elemental blast.
as you predicted, we played the Snapcaster into the Sword to Plowshare. Now the other Snapcaster of Zucchelli came, and the Toad sides arrives on the Vanillion.
So now
He's got 2
Zucchelli is basically in the driver's seat now.
because he's got 2 blast in hand. He played the
Hold on. This fetchland wasn't in play.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No,
No,
it was
it wasn't
hand.
in play.
Stop it. The
No,
fetch
no,
was not
for-
in play.
No, the fetch was in play.
The fetchland
No,
was
ferma,
in hand.
ferma, Max.
La fetch non era.
No, non era in gioco, non era in gioco.
Stop it.
Stop.
Ha già appena messo una fetch in gioco a caso.
Fetch non era in gioco. No, non era in gioco.
No, l'ho proprio buttata dalla mano.
No, the fetch wasn't in play.
Che trassata.
Mamma mia.
Mamma
come
mia, che
trassa la
trassata.
gente.
No, la fetch era.
I mean, this is ugly because we rushed the fetch in play.
Sì, infatti adesso l'abbiamo rifatto prendere.
Okay,
Saltano di niente.
okay. Now he plays the fetch and then passes the turn.
Comunque aveva forza.
Ho capito, però ha fatto venire cosa da 2 invece che da 1.
Now he got 2 dead cards in hand because he don't have Volcanic
Three
Island.
dead cards.
The other card what is
Entreat.
he tried to win this game with an retreat.
Maybe it's a game lost.
Yeah, because I mean that gesture with the fetch wasn't.
I don't know if I think it's a mistake, just a mistake. But anyway, he
Anyway, we explain the situation for you. Maybe
hand.
Anzalone he had a plane and two island in play, and in the end, two red elemental blast and a fetch land. He drew a miracle and 3 angels, and he put a fetch land in play
Aspetta, vado a sentire che dico.
with a quick maneuver, letting him to play the miracle. So. So we don't know if this move was intentional, non-intentional, but anyway.
I love catching stuff on camera. It's just great because no one realizes. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it really seems like whatever people on camera do, their opponents never realize anything.
And we got to say that cheating on live coverage is not as
Yeah,
smart.
it's just not. It's not great.
It's not as smart as, as you can
Obviously, like you cannot.
You
Well,
cannot say
I'm not. Obviously, we don't have a replay straight away. Like I spotted the thing straight
Immediately,
away, so I don't know whether it was intentional or not. But if it was intentional, it was like it wasn't well done. Like I
Yeah,
could say. I mean,
absolutely not.
he didn't actually perform it well. So I would assume it wasn't intentional.
Yeah. Anyway, now the situation now is that he's got an
The board situation is
The board situation is basically
it's
very favorable for
very
Zucchelli.
favorable for Zucchelli
Because
it does have dig through time and he can find easily like any finisher.
And
while
the
Anzalone
main
only
thing-
has like that card in hand.
The main thing is that Anzalone, as we said, he lost the only two volcanic island he plays, the only two red mana he plays. So the two red elemental blasts are useless in his hand, and now also the entreat is quite useless in his hand because he's got very few fuel in this moment, and instead of Kelly, he's got the Snapcasters, he's got the Dig Through Time, he's got another card that you don't remember, but he's got it. I mean, now it's Anzalone that is hoping the time over.
Well, they did have 18 minutes going into this game.
And obviously
Like,
now the time is suspended.
time is suspended now, so I think Zucchelli is he's probably gonna be able to win the game. Like he just has to trade his Snapcaster Mage. I mean, or offer the trade or just attack, feed his graveyard, and tap 3 manas and remove 5 cards from the graveyard and dig through time. Because he does have 4 cards in the graveyard. So if he does attack with the Snapcaster Mage, offering the trade to Anzalone probably is gonna block.
See, probably Zanone is gonna trade with.
Anzalone has
He's gonna
to
take
trade.
the trade because
Anzalone has to trade.
he's got no race. So it's the thing that with the 5th card he can play dig through time. The problem is that now Zucchelli shown the cards he's got in hand with that Force Will. So he's not. Now the judge is on the table and he's explaining what happened, basically. So, Anzalone is explaining that he put accidentally the fetch into play. We don't know, I repeat, if it was accidentally, if it was mandatory. But the strange thing is that he did this thing when he saw the entreaty angels. So I think the judge is considering that the intentionality of putting that fetch land into play because it changes. It's not a fetch land you put into play and before you draw a card or before you knew what you draw, or for example, if now you draw a brainstorm or so on. It's a fetch land that changes the shape of the game because obviously it gives. Now the judge is trying to reconstruct the situation.
Stijana, I have to be honest with you. I think you're mostly right. I mean, I don't really have a comeback for what you're saying in the chat, and I do think you're mostly right. You're probably right. I've only seen it once. There's no way for me to watch a replay right now, but I spotted it straight away because of a movement. Like I wasn't aware of the number of lands in play. I just saw like a movement of the land going among the other lands where it
but
shouldn't
the
have
fact
been.
is, at the fetch land it was not on the same line of the other land. If he made a movement, and in this movement I see the intentionality.
Exactly.
Well, because if the fetch land it was on the same plane of the other lands, you can say, okay, I think it's in play. But I saw a quick movement to put in the fetch into the line of the other land. So this kind of movement, for me, it reveals the intentionality of doing that kind of play. So now, basically, they reconstructed the situation. They didn't give a game loss. Now he's attacking with an upcaster, and now here Zucchelli have to block.
Yeah, Zucchelli definitely has to block.
He has to block.
The problem with Zucchelli though is like he does not know that Anzalone doesn't have any more red mana.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
if
but still, if you are facing two red mental blast, you still want to block anyway.
yeah, because you
Because
know,
obviously, like, you want the opponent to
Okay.
just trade Snapcaster for Snapcaster.
We understand.
The point was that for the tower size, they.
We know,
moved the
we-
card.
Yeah.
Okay, you see.
we say everything. Now, as David says, and it's quite.
Yeah.
So Zucchelli does not know
That
that obviously the
Anzalone
does
doesn't
not
have red mana.
red
back.
mana. But
Now
now
he fetches-
Anzalone is basically just gonna play one angel.
Yeah, and now obviously in response to a fetch of Anzalone, the Zucchelli will gonna play dig for time.
Yeah.
Because obviously he thinks that Anzalone is going trying to fetch.
The fact that
the
he
red
doesn't
mana.
know there's no red mana, but like even if like your opponent has got access to red mana, there's always gonna be a time in which he will just fetch.
In fact, if I am Anzalone, I don't fetch that, because when you fetch, you give him the possibility
You
to
give him the
dig.
window to win to dig for time. now.
Yeah, you have to keep the bluff.
Yeah, if you're bluffing, you just have to bluff until the end.
Yeah, this is a rule of poker, but also in Magic.
Stronger hands.
He's got Jace, he's got Stoneforge. Now obviously he's gonna pick the cards in which you can win the game, because now
Yeah, he has to
Zucchelli.
win the game. Doesn't have much time left.
Yeah, exactly.
Also-
Now we
They
wanted
have
to
a lot
win
of
the game,
time,
and now Zucchelli discovers
10
that.
minutes.
And now I think that Zucchelli discovered that the red of Anzalone is over because he fetched another land. So if he's not blind, he can see that the red of
Why? I
Anzalone.
don't understand. Because you can hope for a brainstorm that they shuffle up the two red.
Stoneforge Mystic hits the board.
For one.
Yeah, but he don't.
He
play.
didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't.
That's not in
And
sense.
and the sword of
Maybe-
fire
maybe
and the
nervous
sword of
for
fire
the-
eyes
for
and the
the
sword of
judge.
fire eyes hits the board for Zucchelli. But now we can keep the Snapcaster with the sword of fire eyes.
He can
Keep
keep.
keeping him. Now he played with 2.
Yeah. great top deck,
Wonderful terminus top deck.
but we have force.
Force
Okay,
wheel.
fair enough.
But a good top deck from Anzalone that could save his life if it's way.
And we are quite near to the hand.
Snapcaster attacks. Here Anzalone is knows that he
Yeah,
tries.
he knows it's done.
With the chase also.
Now he's gonna drop in. He's gonna keep the Snapcaster when 2 damages to Anzalone direct, so we are 5 damage, 7 damages total. Putting Anzalone to 6, I think, or to 4. 4. And he draws a card for Sword of Fire Ice. So now
Just another terminus, maybe.
draws a card hoping is a miracle. Keeps attacking with a Snapcaster.
Till the end.
AVN 7 life. And now a Council Judgment.
Not so bad.
Yeah. But anyways, Snapcaster dies. His Word of Fire Ice dies, but
One.
it's gonna 2 life, 1 life.
Why did you attack with Snapcaster Mage if you wanted to play Council Judgment?
I don't know. Really.
I really don't get it.
And we
Now he wants to entreat for 1, so he's basically dead to any removal, while he wouldn't have been if he kept his.
it's the end.
No, well, basically, like if it does not attack with Snapcaster Mage here, like
Yeah.
it doesn't actually die to this
Yeah.
abrupt decay.
I think that Anzalone after the better or he lose his mind. But Zucchelli wins 2-1 this game and he goes 6-0 I think.
Yes, 6.
6-0, so probably he's made it in the top 8 with this strange deck with 4 colors, 2 Caracas, 2 Wastelands. And this is a proof that Magic is always surprising us. But anyways, what can you say about the match? Anzalone mulligan 2 times. He didn't had very decent hand, and Zucchelli always had a death rate shaman on this side.
Yes.
This.
But also, the miracle deck doesn't go linear as usual because you don't
kept
find
linear, but
the treat.
if a miracle deck in the first turn faces an abrupt decay, it's not easy. Rudy, we're gonna maybe go for an update after this turn of all the people 6-0, 5-0. So we're gonna try to give you a point of the tournament after this round in 2 minutes.
Yes, we will make the update of the standings, and so we can tell you also who is in top 8. I mean, who can not playing the 7th turn, and so the top 8 start to begin more consistently. And what else? I think that we will have a break, a few minutes, and so see you later.